How would you like to make your first million? Today we have James with us, which is the chairman and CEO of Daz 3D, and he is serial entrepreneur. He has been more than one business and has been in tech over all life, and his clients now are like Roblox and Meta. So, James, tell us what are the 5 steps you recommend entrepreneurs in order to make the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Hi, Harry. By the way, grateful to be on the podcast. Yeah, what a wonderful question. I'm going to focus first on sort of the 3 Ps, and it's going to sound a little cliche, but I promise you these work. The first step is to surround yourself with good people. And when I say good people, I'm talking about employees, I'm talking about partners, and certainly talking about investors. Years ago, and I won't tell you the exact year because I'll date myself, but I did an interview with Inc. magazine where they asked sort of this same question. And the answer around people, I would tell you that the real key is to surround yourself with people that are more talented than you and can make decisions that other people can't and won't make. So that's step number one. The second step is product. Really make sure you have a hardened product, that there's a good product fit, that you're solving a problem. Too often, I think entrepreneurs take a product or service to market and they love the idea and they're passionate about it, but they haven't really vetted it to make sure that it's a good product fit. The third thing is promotion. And when people think about promoting their business, of course, marketing comes to mind and promoting your product. What I think some entrepreneurs overlook is the value of promoting themselves. So take the time to build your personal brand and make sure that you're instilling confidence and trust with all of your partners, from suppliers to buyers and certainly to potential investors. I think that when people think the fourth principle, I think when people think about general economic terms, they think about supply and demand. I think they have that backwards. Having a degree in economics, I believe that the proper thing is demand before supply. So when you launch your business, it's not only important that you've established product fit and you're solving a problem, but it's also important that you have a really clear, defined go-to-market strategy and that you've identified that the demand is there. And then lastly, I would say for the fifth thing is a lot of entrepreneurs get hungry about getting investors and having outside working capital. I think that's great. I've run public companies. I've run VC-backed companies. I've run companies that I started myself and just bootstrapped. So I think there's a lot of ways to finance your business. But man, if you take on investors, choose those investors wisely. And people have integrity and that have your back. Those would be my 5 steps, Gary.
James, out of the 500 millionaires we interview in the podcast, 1 out of 5 are tech entrepreneurs. So tell us, and people, because this podcast always listen to entrepreneurs, people that want to be entrepreneurs, people in corporate that want to become entrepreneurs, and small business owners, medium business owners, how large business owners, right? People might think it's easy, right? Because they say, well, if a lot of tech millionaires showing up to Harry podcast so often, maybe it's easy become a millionaire in tech. So can you tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly of the tech business and why we have so many tech millionaires then?
Yeah, so we could certainly talk about AI, which is specifically relevant to all businesses, but more generally, I would tell you this is hard work, and to do it right, and you have to have a bootstrap mentality. I've run multiple companies. I still am not afraid to do the dirty work, right? whether it's emptying your own trash cans, whatever it is. I think too often people think that there's so much money and they have such a great tech idea, and maybe they get investors that they can, they can just hire a lot of people, that they don't have to pay attention to the small details. And particularly when you're first starting a business, that is mission critical. You have to be willing to do the dirty work. The good part of being an entrepreneur is you feel the success every day. And I would encourage all of your listeners, all entrepreneurs out there, to celebrate your wins. I don't think as entrepreneurs we do that enough. I think there's too much, hand
And we
wringing and worry about the
and we
business.
and we have more failures than winnings. So the few winnings we should celebrate them, right?
Yeah, we should celebrate it. Exactly. Take time to celebrate the wins. Take the time to do the little things, and to have that kind of bootstrap mentality. That's what I would say to your listeners.
And most of the time we are failing, right? We're trying things and it doesn't work. And so we have some win, we should celebrate it. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So
What Steve Jobs said, Harry, right? He said something to the effect, and I'm paraphrasing, that if you're not willing to fail, if you're not willing to crash and burn, you're not going to last very long. So he's a pretty good resource for somebody that through the course of his career had a lot of ups and downs and knew how to win, but he had to take risk and to fail fast, and then push for the success.
James, can you tell us the story how you become CEO of the company? We talked a little bit before the broadcast. Can you share with us what's the story? How you end up being the CEO of the company?
Sure. So as I mentioned, previous to my current position, I ran a business that was wildly successful. In just a few years, grew very fast, and we were able to sell that company. And I started making some angel investments and joined a few boards. And I joined the Daz 3D board. The CEO at the time was a friend of mine, and he looking to use Daz's technology in one of my other companies for an investment. And so it seemed like the right decision to join the board. Unfortunately, the company announced they were going through some difficult times at that first board meeting. And the investors, again, the former CEO and his team had chosen good, supportive investors, decided to put additional capital into the business, but wanted to do a bit of a shuffle on leadership. And so the CEO and I had, at the time, had the discussion that very day. He was happy to focus on product and go-to-market strategy, and to hand me the reins as CEO. So in my very first board meeting, I went from being a board director to the CEO of the company about a decade and a half ago.
That's fun. Wow, and about decade, that's the other thing. You still around after 10 years in tech. This is hard, difficult. In this industry, yeah, if you survive 10 years, it's like you survive 100 years. So any secrets how to survive? Any how to survive in a tech space for more than 5 years, for more than 10 years?
Yeah.
Do you trash can? Do you trash can maybe? Do still the dirty work? What is it? Right. What's the secret?
So Harry, you have to know when to pivot, right? So even though I've been with this company over a decade, it was very much a direct to consumer business. And we took all of the assets and the technology around that direct to consumer business, and that's where we formed our enterprise strategy, our B2B strategy. And as you mentioned in the opener, that's where we gained relationships and clients like Meta and Epic. And so being willing to make that pivot's important. I mean, think about just a few years ago, all the noise around Web3, right? And NFTs and crypto. And boy, we loved that in a very short period of time.
And the metaverse. Don't forget the metaverse, that we use a lot of 3D assets, right?
100% right. Yeah. And so, we built this huge business around Web3, 8-figure business very, very quickly. But as quickly as it came, it left. And so our next pivot was into AI. And each time as we develop the technology and we repurpose our assets, we've been able to take advantage of emerging tech opportunities, which is why now, we've pivoted from Web3 enterprise engagements to AI level engagements and are thriving now in the AI space.
So, James, let me think if I the so the 3D assets that you develop, right? That we're doing direct to consumer, then you design an enterprise solution. But how do you speak with Meta? How do you speak with these giants if you're a small startup? They're not gonna believe you. They're not gonna trust you. They don't even want to speak with you. So how to be B2B develop this B2B strategy when speak with these big boys is a real challenge.
It is, and it takes a lot of work. And again, fortunately for us and for our company, I have some really business development talent that know how to have those conversations. But what we did and where we were able to sort of break into these relationships is, again, we look to solve a problem, a need. And so when you think about our business being an AI-centric company, that's not because we have an AI foundation model or a training model. What we decided to do is, again, do the dirty work, sort of the blue collar of AI, the picks and shovels of AI. We provide data assets around all of this 3D content we've developed over years. We provide training assets that then train the models that companies like Meta and Roblox are building. So instead of like out there trying to promote our own AI content, creative digital solution, we support every digital solution that's out there by doing the hard work and data training to make those AI models more effective.
Oh wow, that's spectacular. And so, James, the 3D models that you developed direct to consumer, what were you doing? You were you selling the models to the consumer?
That's exactly right. To prosumers as well. So our 3D assets were being used in professional environments. As an example, you've probably heard of Lil Miquela, who is a digital influencer. She's totally built on our platform, as an example. And that's what Daz did. Also, the individual developers, right? If you wanted to build an animation or a mobile app, or you just wanted to make beautiful 3D art renders, that's what our direct-to-consumer business consisted of, or consists of. And then, we partner with hundreds, maybe thousands of the best 3D artists in the world. And so they create that digital content, those 3D assets, and then they come to our marketplace. Yeah. And so they sell it. Yeah, exactly. And then they get their assets and they make a rev share.
Yeah, but James, this very competitive space. I'm aware there are so big giants like Turbo Squid and a lot of big with a lot of funding that sell 3D assets. So how can you compete with these big giants?
So Turbo Squid, I've known the folks at Turbo Squid. Actually, Turbo Squid was founded the same year Daz was founded. So yeah, so of course Turbo Squid is part of Shutterstock, which is a much larger business enterprise than we are. But Turbo Squid is their 3D piece, as you referenced, and we're big like Turbo Squid. So we were founded this year and grew at the same time. So in the 3D digital content, avatar, character space, we're one of, if not the largest provider of 3D digital content.
Wow. And how do you manage to compete? Because you need a lot of money. How expensive was to acquire that creator? Because now the creator, that's the other thing, the creator, he have one asset, now he want to sell it in your platform. He want to sell it in Turbo Squid. He want to sell it everywhere. So how you made the creator loyal to you, and actually how much it costs to acquire that creator? You say, okay, I share revenue with the creator. Yeah, but to acquire the creator, it costs money. And as we are aware, the direct-to-consumer customer acquisition is a very expensive exercise. Sometimes you need a lot of money. So how
Yeah. So
go for, tell
yeah,
us
how do we acquire the creators and how do we compete? It
how you
is
compete with these
absolutely,
big giants like the two boys
yeah.
squid. I get it that you guys started at the same time, but this is was bought by shares and stocks.
Yeah,
Clearly,
yeah. So we take approach. So one thing that I think is important in acquiring these relationships, and by the way, if you take a 5-year period, we have a 95% creator retention. So they stick around with us. And the
wow,
reason they do that is because we build their personal brands. We spend a lot of time and a lot of effort making their brand successful. And then, like I said, we rev share with them. So their compensation with us is variable and it's based on our collective performance. And we have some of our creators, many hundreds of our do this full time. Even though they're not our full-time employees, this is their full-time job. And many of them literally make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year selling content through our
really,
business. And so,
really.
yeah, I mean,
Yes, but what
when you
software
think
they
of
were
our
using? They were using whatever
it's
software they
Daz.
want, but
No,
they were
no,
using the Daz.
they proprietary software, Daz
Ah,
Studio.
wow. They use your own
Yeah, and
software.
we just
Wow,
released a couple of weeks ago the latest version of Daz Studio, and so
really?
they use Daz
So you're still
Studio. The
around?
content. What was that?
So James, but the that model is still around? Do you still have the website with the creator development stuff and sell it? Or because I thought that now,
Absolutely.
okay, so the web you have another arm now, which is you provide data also to AI solution models because you guys have a lot of data, but still your original business model is out there. Okay, bottom line, you're still competing with Turbo Squid. Oh God, that sounds
Yeah,
exhausted.
you know that
Sounds very
that
tight.
business. Yeah, it still does lots of profitable revenue. So
Oh
yeah,
my
we
God!
continue to
Wow,
partner with those artists and can invest in our
wow.
direct to consumer business. And then on the enterprise business, like you said, we not only sell AI training data, we provide integrated avatar and character creation systems, and also content for their communities. So if you think of creator communities around gaming, so think of Unreal and Epic.
Mm.
We're providing content and technology for those as well.
Wow. James, it seems that I don't think that you have time to get bored, right? It's a very, I mean, okay, for the tech founders, James, right? That now, again, direct to consumer is a very expensive exercise, right? And not even now that you start with this company, you get involved, like you said, over 10, 11 years. Is that correct?
Actually, a little longer, almost a decade and a half. Yeah, almost
Wow,
15.
wow, 15 years. Huh. So 15 years ago, it was expensive to develop software because it was no AI. Software developers are expensive. And then create the community of creators that actually come and use your software is also expensive. There are 3D Max softwares. There are all those software, AutoCAD, you name it, a lot of software that do 3D things. There are big giants. There are powerful companies that if someone starting out like you, they can get rid of you so quickly because they have a lot of budget and things like this. So how you thrive in an environment where everything is expensive? I develop the software is expensive. Acquiring the client is expensive. Nobody knows you. You're new in town. Like Tubo Speed, okay, was starting out the same thing. Not the same thing. I don't know. Correct me. I don't know that Tubo Squid have their own software. I think the Tubo Squid only
They don't.
sells the assets.
Correct.
Yeah, you guys
That's
have it.
correct.
Well, you guys also make it more complicated, more because you have to develop your own software. You have to set the asset. So how you thrive in an environment that everything is expensive 15 years ago, very expensive, and to make the first sales, you have to put a lot of capital, right, into the equation. Uh, so how you thrive in that environment?
So it's a great question. I'm going to go back to something I said earlier. You have to find your niche. You have to find something that solves a problem that either other people, other companies haven't identified, or they don't see it as the opportunity that you see it. You brought up the example that most of our competitors that sell 3D content in other marketplaces don't have a software solution. They don't have a technology stack. And to your point, that does complicate in some ways, does complicate and make things more expensive. On the other hand, giving your customers the full solution for the need we were addressing and for the niche we were solving for was really key. I mean, if you think of customers today, it's not a massive customer base, but it's a very loyal customer base. I mean, we have a 3-year value for our customers of over
Oh,
$2,000 per customer. And that's because for the customers that we've served, we are providing a complete solution for them. And that's why they remain so loyal to us on the consumer side. On the enterprise side, it's because we have this massive base of 3D content. We can produce structured, rights owned content that nobody can. Think about what I just said there. If you know anything about AI, you know there's all kinds of challenges in training AI when people are just going out and scraping, the internet for information. When we partner with a client, we have all of the rights to sell that data. It doesn't involve scraping data. Everything's attributed back to where the ownership belongs. And so we provide, annotated, semantically labeled, very clean data for those customers. And we can do that at scale because of the technology and the content, the assets we've built over time. I'll just give you a quick example. One of our clients wanted 70,000 unique avatars or characters. None of them could be the same
wow,
character. And
wow,
we took 2,500 content assets. So figures, clothing, shoes, glasses, hair, all of that, just 2,500 assets. And from that 2,500 assets, we were able to build 75,000 unique characters. None of them are alike. What makes that even more impressive is you could take that 2,500 base of assets and you could have over 1 million unique characters from that. So that's why, as you mentioned, the technology, the software, people to buy your content direct to consumer, that's all hard. But because we figured out the solution completely, that's what has allowed us to be able to do things that other companies can. We are the only company in the world that can produce 3D high quality training data assets for AI at sort of an
wow,
evergreen scale.
wow. And so James, what advice do you have for the tech founder that they are struggling, that they are working? I when you share a 5 step, you said about something like try to bootstrap and things like this. And what we have is in the tech space, usually they create a big elephant, a big solution, and then they go to look for funding to sell it. And then the VC is looking at me and say, Harry, how come they want my money to sell it? Why they don't sell it themselves? And we have this gap between, and then you ask to that founder, say, Harry, the investors are never happy. They want traction, they want sales, they want this, they want all this. And so how can we close the gap between tech founders and investors?
Yeah. So a couple of quick thoughts. One real practical one is run your company like it's never going to be for sale. If you run your business because your outcome is you want to be acquired or you want to raise capital, you're going to take your eye off the ball. So run your business like you never it, because what's going to resonate with investors or acquirers is performance. So all the great ideas in the world, the fancy presentations, the backgrounds of the founders and owners, none of that will matter if the business isn't operating well. So run your business like it's never going to be for sale. The second thing I would say is if you're in the tech space, you got to embrace AI. Even if your product isn't AI related, you have to. I think every company probably period, but certainly in tech, should look at AI as one of their most existential threats and one of their greatest opportunities. And so, I see too many entrepreneurs, and it's crazy to me, especially when I see them in tech, that sort of have their head in the sand about AI, and it's coming. I get the fear around it's going to eliminate jobs, or AI may eliminate your idea of your business, because, like, think of our business. People can produce 3D content and assets with AI models. It's coming. It's coming to every business. And I think it's important that you not only treat AI like a tool, more importantly, you treat it like a layer. It becomes embedded in what you're doing, whether we're talking operational efficiencies or we're talking specifically around a tech product, whether it's hardware, software, digital assets. Pay attention to AI and be smart about it. Educate yourself. Take time to listen to great podcasts, or keep that continuing education, because it's moving so fast. What is meaningful today in AI, what headlined what would be meaningful a month ago. So you got to keep up on it.
James, if someone is in love with this conversation, how people can follow you, how this process works, tell us the website of your company.
Sure. The website is Daz 3D, DAZ3D.com. And you can get hold of us, through the website. We're on all social platforms with both our Daz 3D and our enterprise brand Taffy. So you can find us there. And then, of course, I'm James Thornton. You can find me across social media or email me directly for anything I can do to be assistance to any of your listeners.
Thank you so much, James. That has been fantastic. Yeah. And for all of you following the podcast, see you in our next episode of Unstoppable, how brave entrepreneurs like James create that world and achieve the 5 million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.